Okay, so patch notes for today. The vector sequencer was the brains of the operation as usual, and it was running the G-Storm Electro SH-101 VCO, SH-101 VCF, and we had some System 100M clone voices. We had 3 of those making a chord. Had the Endorphins Milky Way providing the overdrive. And on the SH-101 VCO, we had the Erica DSP. And we had a Z-verb on the chord. And then the Roland mixer here has CV in to the mixer and allows you to pan back and forth. So I had an LFO running in there, panning that. So let me go ahead and start it, and let's listen to that bunch of Roland voices. Turn the playlist on here so it'll change chords. Now it is possible to get the System 100 clone voices in perfect tune, but I actually have an LFO modulating the pitch of all 3 voices so that they'll give this bell-like tone that's never quite in tune. And down here at the mixer, of course, this LFO running into the CVN of the pan, creating that stereo pan. Hopefully you're listening in stereo. And then you have the Bitbox is providing this happy cycling inspired drum loop. And listen to I'm running this into the Endorphins Milky Way. Listen to the crunch that this Milky Way can put on that. Even emphasizes the vinyl run out sound that I put in there. You can hear it without, but I mean, that's what it's doing. Now the Milky Way is a reverb, and it does do some echo as well, but to me that's unbeatable. And I'm going to be running things out of Ableton into the Milky Way to get that unbelievable overdrive sound. Then you have this boards inspired riff coming out of the G-Storm Electro 101 VCO and 101 VCF. And it's kind of a common motif that you hear in Boards of Canada music. It's not any specific song. And that's running into the Erica Pico DSP, which is capable of doing a huge plate. That's without any DSP. It's pretty amazing how different these 3 reverbs are. You have the Endorphins that can give you kind of a gritty feel, or maybe an alternative sounding feel, I would say, dark reverb. Then you have the Erica DSP, which is very scientific and smooth plate. And I think it also does delay. I never use it for that, but I think it does that as well. Then you have the Bitbox Micro, which is actually selecting slices out based on the CV note going into it. We can see these notes in here, and those notes are actually selecting different slices as the sequencer goes along. And it has quite a bit of swing on it. I can change that. Let's hear it with no swing. And let's hear a little. So you can hear my piece had a lot of swing on it. Really made it, didn't it, the swing? About like that. So the vector is swinging the rhythm coming out of the Bitbox Micro. It's swinging those samples, those slices, as well as swinging the musical notes that are coming out of this SH-101 VCO. So let's listen to this oscillator and filter combo here just a little bit more. I would highly recommend this. It's amazing sounding. Much, much better than my Roland clones voices up here. The filter is also much better than the Roland clone filter for what I do. I'm not saying it's... I'm saying I like it better. I'm not saying it's better in any other sense. You probably noticed those cool little trills in Boards of Canada melody line here. And that may be impossible with most sequencers, because look at how fast the cursor is going by there, playing through these notes. There's actually 64 steps in this sequence. There's all 64. And it's just, the cursor is just blazing through those notes. And the reason I'm playing through there that fast is so that I have these notes to use as the in-between notes to do that little trill. And I think a lot of sequencers wouldn't give you the 64 steps. But in addition to that, you see up here that there's a loop going. It's actually two different, what you could call patterns. They're not given that name in the vector. They're called presets. So here you can see the action of the presets. It's actually two 64-step sequences that are linked. And then when you get to the second one, it loops. It has a little loop symbol, and it loops back to the first one. So that's actually a total of 128 steps playing. If you have a vector and you do the 64 steps and you wonder why your swing is not working, you may need to set the rate to divided by 64. And also have this on musical division, and that will let it know, where you want it to be swung. Here's something that's very cool about the vector. So you've got a sequence in there that you like, but you want it to play once or twice and then transpose up, transpose down, and then transpose back to the start again. And you can do this with the sub-sequencer. So it's actually a sequencer that can control your part. So this has 8 parts, 8 of these, with 2 sub-sequencers per part, if you can imagine that. Super deep. But if you set this on 4 and whole, watch these lights light up as this plays, and you'll see it transpose. Plays the second time. Transpose up. Transpose down. And back to the start. There's the main sequence. Things running like crazy. But you go into the modulation subsequence, and it's just slowly counting to 4. and transposing. And there's 2 of those for every part, so I could transpose something else as well, or it has other functions like changing the octave, the rate, the direction, start. And I heard Jim say in a recent podcast that he's going to add even more features to that. So this is super deep. I can't even begin to go into all these features, but I'm just going to do it a little at a time through projects, and that way you'll kind of get a better feel for it. So be sure and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.